My fellow Doordashers, how you doing? It's your boy C Moto. I am back with another video, and as you can see by the thumbnail, it's just something that I did want to speak on. It's something that is very sad, and it sucks that it's going on and it's happening, but this is real. This is happening and going on, and these companies are not playing around. So this is more to current social media people that have followers, or people that are looking to possibly make a channel, recording their journey or anything like that with these gig delivery jobs. These companies are coming after you if you have anything negative to say about them. They are considering it harassment. They are considering it bullying. They're saying that it's false information that's being spread, and they have lawyers that they're finding loopholes to be able to deactivate your account, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Then you have to move on to a different app, and then it's just like dominoes. It's just one after the other, to where you're not going to have any more of these gig jobs that you're going to be able to work, because all the issues and complaints that you may have as a social media person. So with that said, I'm not perfect. I live in a reality world of the way things go, and you have to look at it that companies are going to be for themselves before they're for you. You come second. As a worker, you come second. They're for themselves as a company first. You then come second at that point. Or let's just say this. The customers, I generally say, come second, and then you come third. Like, you're the last at the end, that when it comes to these jobs that mean anything to the company. So they're going to make sure that it's about them first. So once you realize that and understand that, then you will have a better thought when it comes to this process of doing this job. But just to make an example, these dashers, they are getting deactivated one by one, slowly, one by one. These companies are finding out who these people are. They're either being reported. I'm just not 100% sure what information is being taken from videos for these companies to then find out who you are, because that's a lot of driver's licenses that they would have to go through to try to find one person, especially through a whole country or whatever it is, unless you're using your first and last name for your YouTube videos, which would be crazy. But my next thing is you're possibly being reported, because somebody knows you and then they report you to Doordash, and you just have to look at it from this perspective. You have this company, and then you have this one driver over here that has these concerns, whether it's no tip, no trip, or it's low base pay, or just anything else in general that they have an issue with the company. And then you have all these followers, all these subscribers over here that are now listening to what you have to say. So with that said, let's just say, for instance, you're declining orders because the pay is too low. So you as one person, not a big deal. But when you have all these followers over here and they start to follow you and do exactly what you do, then it's hurting the company. And you have to really think about this. You work for this company, but you create a social media account where now you're on a website that the whole world can see. Now you start talking about them as a company. You're still driving for them. You're still making money from them. So it's kind of weird there that all these problems are there. And I'm not to say that Doordash is perfect or any of these gig delivery companies are perfect. They all have their faults. But when you get online and you start blasting them the way you do, and then they see you have all these followers, and then these followers start listening to you, and now it's went from one person times 100, and from there times 200, and next thing you know, they got thousands of drivers out there listening to what you say, because now you have all of them declining low-paying orders. And to my understanding, this is not making Doordash pay you more of a base pay. There's nothing that's showing me that they're paying more out with orders because people decline them. And then, of course, for the customers, they're creating these hashtags. You're creating these hashtags for the customers, no tip, no trip, to get them to be able to tip. And it's just like, I understand and I get it. But at the end of the day, we all signed up to do this job, to drive. In that contract, we take care of our gas, we take care of our maintenance, and it's just on our own time. These are things that we agreed to. Again, nothing said anything about being guaranteed tips, but now you're trying to throw that narrative in place now because you had to drive X amount of miles to make a delivery that you accepted. It's beyond me there. It's like you accept the order, but then it's either you're pissed when you get there and you find out you didn't have a tip, or they didn't give you a tip after the fact, or you're just straight out declining the orders because they didn't come with the tip. Now, granted, you have that right to decline whatever orders. I am not against that. Whatever it is in your market, if it's too low of pay and you can't make that trip, $2.50, $3, and you have to drive 10 miles, hey, I totally get it. I don't think I would do it either. But on that note, if things were that bad with the pay, I would just quit and I just wouldn't even bother with the company anymore, and I would just move on. But what's happening is, like I said, you have these drivers. They're currently still working for the company, yet they're talking about them. And then they're talking about the customers. And whether it's changing anything or not, and 9 times out of 10, it's not changing anything. I don't believe the customers are going to start tipping because you create this hashtag no tip, no trip. And there may be a few people that did do tip. But to me, there's no way of knowing if that's actually doing anything. And you can spread that word. It's a freedom of speech. You can throw that out there if you like. But when you're working for a company and you start talking about that company and you have a lot of followers, and those followers start listening to you and they start doing what you do, now you're declining orders. Orders aren't getting fulfilled. Customers are having to wait even more time. And there's always going to be a driver that's going to accept the order to get this delivered. So I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, they never get their orders delivered. But it's like you still work for the company, yet you're talking about them in the most negative ways possible. And you get out there and you're trying to make money here and there. And it's just like, well, if you're talking about them, why don't you just go in and quit and just find the next job? It's like, I'm not going to work a job that I don't like or I feel is wasting my time. So I don't know where this gig delivery service is any different. If it was a job that I didn't like, I just quit and I go on about my business. So when you create these social media accounts, to me, it just seems like you're doing it for the money. You're getting your accounts to these, and some people are getting paid and they're getting all these views and people are commenting and liking and this and that. And then it's just hurting the company from their perspective. It's their company's being hurt by this one person that works for them, that's getting paid by them. So they're doing all they can in the sense of talking to lawyers, the companies, and just finding loopholes to get rid of people. And I won't even call them loopholes. They're actually saying like, oh, you're spreading false information, or you're harassing, or harassment type of videos, or it's bullying, like you're bullying the company. This is really happening in 2023. I've never seen this before, but slowly but surely they are getting rid of drivers that create these social media accounts that do talk about them in the most negative ways. Again, I'm not here to kiss Doordash's butt. Doordash is a sweet spot for me. I make all the money that I need to make with Doordash, and I don't decline any orders. It's not to say that you have to accept every order. Maybe you're not in the market to do so, but if the market is bad, then you just quit. But you can't have both sides of, you have to pick one or the other. You can't choose to work for the company and make money when you want to, but then talk about them over here, and you have all these followers doing what you do, and it possibly hurts the company because now you have 1,000 drivers over here doing what you're saying because you're unhappy with something. Now you've gotten all these people to now do what you do, which now hurts the company and it hurts the customers, because at the end of the day, they're already paying X amount of money or whatever it is for these high orders that they're placing. This $8 number one, that's now $12 because the menu price difference. And then now you have all these fees on top of that. So now it's like, now you're $15 plus trying to get that same number one that you would have got for $8 or whatever it is. So that's in regards to declining orders that are too low. And again, it sucks. The markets are different. It's just unfortunate for the people that live in markets that don't pay well as base pays. And then that's when tips start to come in the picture, like, oh, well, I just made $3. The least you could do is tip me. Unfortunately, it's just a market that you live in on that note. But it's just sad to see these drivers lose their accounts. And of course, once they've lost them, then they just continue to talk any kind of mess about the companies. This is not just Doordash. This is all companies that this is going to start happening more and more, or whatever it is. Like, oh, they deactivated me, but it's like, oh, I quit 2 days ago anyways, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, really? Like, you quit 2 days ago? or whatever it is just you didn't expect to get deactivated, and then when you did, then you just started talking more mess about the company and you're just moving on. So it's just like, why don't you just move on if things weren't good in the first place? But you're making money on YouTube, you're making money on these social media sites, so you're going to continue to make videos, and it's just going to become your demise. It's going to actually bring you down in that sense if you think you're going to talk negative about a company. I work for the government. I have a school district position. There's a lot of things that I dislike, a lot of things I don't like, and I can bring to the union and discuss it and figure out if there's anything that can be done about it or whatever. But there's a certain process, there's a certain channel that you have to go about things when you start to make complaints. Imagine I get online on YouTube and I create this school district channel or whatever it is for myself to then spread the word to possible applicants or to any current workers or whatever it is with any issues or concerns that I have in that sense or whatever, and they start following me and people stop applying, or you have people that quit. What do you think is going to happen? That school district is going to let me go within the quickness, and it doesn't matter whether this is a gig, independent driver job or not. It's still a job or whatever. And as you can see, they are able to let you go at some point. And these contracts that we sign to so quick to get out here and drive, they have a clause somewhere in there that says that if you do this, we're going to let you go because of that. And it's all at will in that sense. So like I said, it's just sad to see that these social media stars are social media people are losing their accounts and having to move on to other platforms or whatever it is. And hey, maybe that was a calling card for you, that you need to go move on to another platform or whatever it is. So on that note, I mean, of course, I do wish you the best. I have nothing against these people. I mean, you're obviously doing these things for reasons, but there are some penalties that are coming with that, and these people are actually losing their driver accounts or whatever it is. And then what do you have to show for it? I mean, you can only continue to make so many videos. Like, you don't even work for the company no more. So it's like, why are you even doing any work for them or for anybody else? And you can't even make the money anymore. It just doesn't make sense to me. But that's it. I just wanted to speak on that real quick because I just thought it was sad to see all these people that are starting to happen to. I think it's going to happen more and more and more. And that's one thing. I bring positivity to my channel, and it's not because I feel like that's something that would happen to me, because it wouldn't. Again, I'm a different type of driver. I'm out here making extra money. This is not money that I'm depending on, in the sense where when you depend on it, you bring a lot of stress into the picture, and there's frustration that comes with that or whatever. And that's not to say that you're any different from me in the sense of making money. It's just you're out here with a different reason than I am. It's like, I can get out here and I can make $250, $300 in one day, and the next day I can make $100, and I got no concern, no issue, because it's extra money for me. Versus you, if you have to get out here and make $200 every day and you don't make it, then you got to go figure out and go home like, oh, you didn't make any money, you can't pay your rent, or you can't pay this bill or that bill. So it does make a difference the type of driver that you are, and they have two different types of drivers out there. So that's it. I don't want this video to be too long. It was just something that I did want to report to about. And like I said, this is for the current social media people that have their accounts. And if you are somebody that's going to be bringing up a channel to document your journey, just be mindful that this stuff is happening. So it's not to say that you can't complain or anything like that, but when you get to a certain level of fame and you start crossing a certain line, that you have to be ready at any given time to deal with that consequence or whatever it is. And like I said, I'm personally always going to bring positivity to my channel to try to help people to make money. I don't want to bring people down. I mean, if it's something that I want to let you know, I will let you know, but I will do it in the most respectful and positive way. And so that can be done, but a lot of people just think they can just talk any kind of way they want, and then they don't think about the repercussions when it comes down to it. So with that said, I will leave the video at that. Until next time, your boy C Moto. Peace out.